Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiowa, and Sugaree peoples. My name is Ann Lakaitis, and I will be the worship assistant this morning for our minister, Reverend Dr. Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation, which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we're very glad you're here, in person or with us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. We have a few announcements for this Sunday. Salisbury Pride is this Saturday, and we are still in need of volunteers for our booth, so please check your email to sign up. Next Sunday is our Pride worship service with a special speaker, Professor Dawn Schmitz, the curator of Atkins Library at UNC Charlotte. Dr. Schmitz will share about the importance of history during Pride Month. Reverend Amy will be away Wednesday through Saturday for a clergy meeting and will have limited access to email during that time, but she will be with us next Sunday. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service. Or if you are on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Hear now these words from Madeleine L'Engle as we light our chalice this morning. We either add to the darkness of indifference or we light a candle to see by. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to all of our fathers today. We honor Father's Day today and want to give thanks for our fathers, both present and past. So we sing this song. When I am down and oh, my soul's so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be,
I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly.
But when you come and I am filled with wonder, sometimes I think I eclipse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Kind of hard to start a worship service when you're crying because of the music centering. Oh, thank you so much. That was beautiful, and I mean, certainly, my dad's been gone for 3 years, so I give thanks for him every day, and that song certainly helps remind me of that. So, okay, I'm gonna take a drink, and then I'll be ready to take a drink of my hot tea. I want to clarify that. It is. I'm sure y'all will probably not mind, but okay. All right, I invite all of us to please rise in body or spirit for our call to worship found in your bulletin this morning. Madeleine L'Engle wrote that it is in the nature of love to create and in the nature of hate to destroy. We gather this morning to create. We create a community of love today, love for all people and all creation. We see light and hope all around us, and we share it with the world. May it be so. Amen. Our first hymn is found in our gray hymnal, number 203, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky, and the first 3 verses. Please be seated. I invite all the little ones to come join me up front. Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all doing today? Good. I'm so glad you're doing good, Harley. You got a walkie-talkie? Yeah. I see two different walkie-talkies. Who do y'all talk to on those walkie-talkies? No. Oh, the spring. Well, be careful with that. Well, I wanted to ask, today is a little bit special day in your families. Do y'all know what today is? It's Father's Day? Yes. For your dad. Yeah. And all that. Have y'all, your dad too. Yes, all these wonderful dads you have. So. Oh, have y'all done, or are you going to do anything special for your dad today?
Yeah, my dad is going to get
He's going to get something, okay. So,
a massage.
a massage? All right. That's a really good thing to have, yes. The rest of y'all have anything special planned for your dads today?
Yeah, Dandy Thor. That's what
Are you going to tell your dads you love them?
I love my dad when he gets back from massage.
When he gets home from the massage, yes, so, okay. So, it's always a wonderful thing for us to hear that people love us. And sometimes we might just get busy and forget to say that to people, but it's important to say it every day and not just on Father's Day. So, now there's someone I'm going to talk about in the sermon, and y'all will be doing fun stuff by then, but she was a writer, and her name was Madeleine. And Madeleine, when y'all get a little bit older, she wrote some children's books that y'all will be able to, you'll be old enough to read. And the children's books that she wrote, she talked about a girl who went all over the universe to help her dad, all right, to help save him. And she went way up in the stars and to different planets and things like that to help save her dad. Now, did y'all ever look up at the stars at night? You ever go outside when it's dark? Can you see pretty stars? Good. Now, I have something for you today. It's got two different, it's something on both sides. Yes, so these are called constellations. There are people throughout many, many years who'd look up at the stars and they would see pictures. Like, you see, this is a dipper, like a big dipper. And on the other side, there's a bear. Now, Madeleine, who wrote this story about this girl, Meg, who went to go save her dad, she loved looking up at the stars and to see what kind of things, imagine what kind of things she could find in that. And the one thing she realized in the story, the one thing that could save her dad and save others was love. That love was the most important power in the world. So I hope that when you take these and color with them in a little bit, whatever you want to do with them, that maybe if you can draw some stars in the shape of a heart so that we can remember that love is the greatest thing in the universe. You know, do it? Or you can draw wherever you want to. And you might can even give it to your dad later on if you want to. All right. Well, I hope that y'all have a good rest of the day. Thank you for talking to me, and I'll see you soon. We have now entered the time for ritual and sacred sharing as we do each Sunday. Time when we share joys and sorrows, concerns and milestones. So this week we light a candle for all who have been like loving fathers to us. We light a candle in honor of the celebration of Juneteenth later this week. For our LGBTQIA plus siblings during this month of Pride. For the ongoing struggle for civil rights in Iran. For all who are suffering in Gaza, and that immediate assistance will be given to them. For all areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, the Middle East, and the war in Ukraine. Now at this time, you are invited to come forward, and I invite you to come forward along our far wall. You may fill out a prayer card to place on the prayer wall. You may light your own candle of joy or concern, and Anne will hand you the candle as you light your votive. Or you may simply place a stone in our shared water. Please come forward as you feel called to do so. We now light a few more candles to honor the things in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also to honor what is in the hearts of those who are joining us in spirit and joining us virtually this morning. Now at this time, we will enter into a period of quiet rest or meditation or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then I invite you to simply be present, to deepen your breath, feel your feet grounded to the earth below you, and your spirit rising to the skies above. And to invite into your heart this morning that it is what you need.
Our wisdom readings this morning are selected quotes. First, from Madeleine's book, Walking on Water. But unless we are creators, we are not fully alive. What do I mean by creators? Not only artists whose acts of creation are the obvious ones of working with paint or clay or words. Creativity is a way of living life, no matter our vocation or how we earn our living. Creativity is not limited to the arts or having some kind of important career. And then a second quote from A Ring of Endless Light. A great ring of pure and endless light dazzles the darkness in my heart and breaks apart the dusky clouds of night. The end of all is hinted in the start. When we are born, we bear the seeds of light. Around us, life and death are torn apart. Yet a great ring of pure and endless light dazzles the darkness in my heart. It lights the world to my delight. Infinity is present in each part. A loving smile contains all art. The motes of starlight spark and dart. A grain of sand holds power and might. Infinity is present in each part, and a great ring of pure and endless light dazzles the darkness in my heart.
So Madeleine L'Engle was born in New York City in 1918, a child of two artists. She grew to become a prolific writer and is often considered one of the most beloved American writers of the 20th century. She published more than 60 books, fiction, nonfiction, children, young adult literature, and books on spirituality. She was a devout Episcopalian who was very clear about her universalist approach towards faith, and which of course led some of her books to be shunned or banned by more fundamentalist Christians. Now, while a number of her books gained great popularity, it's her children's series, a Wrinkle in Time series, which is probably her best known, and was even made into a wonderful movie a few years ago. If any of y'all went and saw that, Oprah was in it. It was great, right? So the children's book, A Wrinkle in Time, was published in 1962. Now, I think a lot of people who read it don't realize how old the book really is, because it reads like so much a much more modern kind of sci-fi book. It centers around a girl named Meg. Her father is a gifted scientist, and he's been missing for a year. It turns out he'd been kidnapped by an evil force called the Dark Thing. And this was on another planet, way far away from Earth. Now Meg journeys with her younger brother and her best friend to rescue her dad. Different celestial creatures assist them in their travels via a tesseract, which is a sort of wrinkle in space and time. And this enables them to travel through space and time so quickly. Now, these celestial creatures with names like Miss Whatsit and Miss Who and Miss Which also provide wisdom and insights about how to conquer evil. This evil, the evil of the Dark Thing, has already conquered several planets, and if Meg is not able to stop it, will eventually overtake Earth. And what Meg learns on her successful journey to rescue her father and to save the universe, she learns that community, being connected to others, it is community and love is what conquers great evil. Community and love conquers great evil, and she is thus successful in rescuing her father and saving the universe. Now, it's a truth universally acknowledged along the spiritual journey that love conquers evil. As Michelle Obama famously said, when they go low, we go high. In trying to be people of love, if we use the same tactics as evil, we are incorporated into evil itself. As L'Engle understood, as a woman who very well knew the evil that was taking place in this world, she just lived through World War II and all the many evils that happened during that time. L'Engle understood the spiritual journey is one of community and inclusion and love, which of course goes along perfectly with our principles, which we're going to say in a little bit at the end of the service. Now, by the time I'd arrived in seminary, I'd already read a number of Madeleine L'Engle's books. And I was extremely fortunate to be a young, I think I was probably 23-year-old, when she came to be a guest lecturer for a couple days and a speaker. She lectured in a few classes, and then on Friday she had an open session in our chapel. Now, the chapel at Duke Divinity School is not the big chapel at the big Gothic cathedral that you see on campus. That's the whole university chapel. But back in 1990, the chapel at Duke Divinity was really just a small rectangular space that we used as our chapel. It had seats you could move all over the place, just like we move our seats. And at our kind of main altar type area, we had a long rectangular table. And sometimes it might be towards the front of the room, sometimes along the side of the room. And then a couple of bigger chairs and a lectern, which were by this long rectangular wooden table. So on the day that Madeleine L'Engle was there, she was standing in front of this long rectangular table when we arrived. And there were about 40 of us who came that day, and we took seats kind of close and around her. It was an informal gathering, and she initially sat in one of the chairs near the long table, but then she stood up and said, "I can't see all of you sitting here. I need to find some way that I can see everyone and that we can really have conversation." Now, I remember very clearly what she was wearing that day. She had very short, cropped, gray hair, long, dangling earrings. And this is like early 90s, which is still a lot of kind of preppy look, right? But she has these long earrings and a beautiful kind of flowing top and this long, flowing skirt. And in my mind, that's always been a Stevie Nicks skirt, if any of y'all know what I'm talking about. And so she chose to sit on top of this long rectangular table with her legs crossed and the skirt flowing around her. That way she could see everyone and engage and interact. She laughed once she sat down and she said, "Well, I hope I don't offend anyone by sitting on this table. It is just a table at this point in time." Now, of course, some of my peers were offended. Oh, the next Monday, as we had break time, people were talking about it. And I said, "But it wasn't, it was just a standard wooden table, just a movable furniture we use for space. It wasn't worship." But I will never forget that moment, obviously, because I thought when she did that and that beautiful skirt floating around her, I thought, this is the coolest person who has ever set foot in Duke Divinity School. Oh. Now, I didn't think she was cool just because of her beautiful clothes and her confidence in herself, or the way she made herself comfortable when talking informally with a group of young adults who planned to enter the ministry. It was most importantly her message that made her so cool. The spiritual journey is a journey, she said. It's not a set of dogma or statements that have to be memorized. She talked about the importance of journey, of our stories, and the place of love in our stories, and what it means to be truly human. I think this morning during our opening song, and I knew exactly what the song was, right? I'm oversee all the worship planning, but something about sitting here and thinking about my own journey and the importance my father had in that, and the great love he showed for me every day, and that I still feel from him. Wow, what an important part of my own journey. Now, while Madeleine L'Engle wrote some powerful nonfiction books on spirituality, she very much understood the importance of story in conveying the essential truths of the human heart and continual spiritual transformation. Now, back in 1962, when The Wrinkle in Time was first published, over 60 years ago, to have an awkward preteen girl as the protagonist who saves the world That was quite unusual. And I think a lot of times we forget that because we've had so many books that have incorporated that kind of story since. But L'Engle, back in those days, took a person who easily would have been overlooked. A girl who many at that time would have said, well, she should be planning to be a wife or mom. Maybe a teacher or a nurse, right? But she took this person who was marginalized in society, and she made her the hero of that story, the one who saved the universe by her capacity to love. L'Engle wrote these words in A Wrinkle in Time. Love is not power, which she always considered coercive. To love is to be vulnerable, and it is only in vulnerability and risk, not safety and security, that we overcome darkness. L'Engle normally made the heroes of her stories vulnerable because they didn't really have worldly power, and we definitely know power can easily corrupt. Because they didn't have worldly power, their true power came through love. And love is in itself vulnerability and risk. It is opening ourselves to whatever the life journey may bring, good or bad, and everything in between. Living guided by love is a true joy. And L'Engle wrote that joy is always a promise. We are all on our journey through life. And while few of us can be as effortlessly cool as Madeleine L'Engle, we can be guided by love along our journey, which is actually the greatest cool factor of all. Right? L'Engle wrote these words about what it means to age along life's journey. I am still every age that I have been. Because I was once a child, I am always a child. Because I was once a searching adolescent given to moods and ecstasies, these are still part of me and always will be. This does not mean that I ought to be trapped or enclosed in any of these ages. The delayed adolescent, the childish adult, but that they are in me to be drawn on. Far too many people misunderstand what putting away childish things means. They think that forgetting what it is like to feel and to touch and to think and to smell and to taste and see and hear like a 3-year-old or a 13-year-old or a 23-year-old. They think that forgetting that means being grown up. When I'm with these people, I, like the kids, feel that if this is what it means to be grown up, then I don't ever want to be one. Instead of which, if I can retain a child's awareness and joy and be 51, then I will really learn what it means to be a grown-up. All of our lives are interconnected story from age 3 to 23 to 53 to 93 and beyond. We love each part of ourselves at each moment of time. We love ourselves as we strive to love one another, even if it's an age where we're embarrassed about things that we said or did, or perhaps didn't make the best decisions. We still love ourselves. and we love others because we see the divine light in them, no matter who they might be or what decisions they might make. This doesn't mean that we ignore the harm or not work to try to stop it. We certainly do that. We follow in the footsteps of Meg. We use love to conquer the evil and the harm and the darkness that is always present along the journey. And loving is truly the coolest thing of all. May it be so, blessed be. Amen.
So that see, no matter what the problem, I will try to understand. We can make it through hand in hand. Sing, my brother, let us sing with me, my sister. Let's get together and make a harmony. Let us shout with me, my brother. Let us shout with me, my sister. Because we celebrate what it means to be free. No matter what the problem, I will try to understand. Let it get it through hand in hand. Whoa, let us work. Labor with me as we strive our unity. Let us dance with me, my sister. Let us dance with me, my sister. To make harmony as we strive harmony. No matter what the problem, we will try to understand. We can get it through hand in hand. Hand in hand, we can make it through. Hand in hand, hand in hand, we can make it through. Hand in hand, work together in harmony. Hand in hand, work together in harmony. Hand in hand, working together in harmony. Hand in hand, working together in harmony. Hand in hand, together in harmony. Hand in hand, working together in harmony. Hand in hand, working together in
Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month, we are sharing our offering plate with P-Flag, Salisbury, Vermont. P-Flag's mission is to build on a foundation of loving families, united with LGBTQ people and allies who support one another, and to educate ourselves and our communities to speak up as advocates until all hearts and minds respect, value, and affirm LGBTQ people. P-Flag envisions a world where diversity is celebrated and all people are respected, valued, and affirmed, inclusive of their sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. We ask that you place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room, and you are always welcome to give online at puc.org or by texting PUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for these generous gifts of your hearts, gifts which enable us to share love throughout this world. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn found in your teal hymnal, number 1064, Blue Boat Home.
I've been
I invite everyone to please be seated. We have some people joining the church, and if you will come forward and stand in front of the water table, and our membership team, if y'all will come to be over to the side, ready to assist. Our membership team is such an important part of what we do here with our new members. And Ann, let me go ahead. Ann. Okay. All right, Michael? All right, so for our new members, we'll just turn and face our congregation, and we are going to begin with some introductions. So we are thrilled today to welcome new members into our church family. Now, the individuals you see before you, have gone through the Pathways to Membership course. They've learned about UU history and theology. They've explored the basics of spiritual journey and how that applies to them individually. And we've had individual conversations about what it means to join this church. They are committing to support our church community with their time, their talents, and their treasures. So let's begin with Michael. We're going to introduce Michael here. Michael is a widower and retired from the U.S. Postal Service in Charlotte at the end of 2005 after 34 years of service. So now before that, he was in the U.S. Air Force maintaining radar systems. Sounds really interesting. So Michael's lived in the Charlotte area for 53 years. He is transferring from Hickory UU Church of Catawba Valley. He has a daughter, Victoria, or Tori, who I know many of us have met, and she comes and visits with him on occasion. Michael enjoys reading, computers, the beach, and listening to jazz. Welcome. Erin Moss is next. Erin is engaged to Jesse, who is standing right beside her. They are getting married November 9th, coming up pretty soon. They're getting married in a bamboo forest in Belmont, North Carolina, if you did not know that existed. Erin says she loves him so much, and their doggies, Oliver and Lyra, okay. Erin is a software developer by trade, but is also working on creating a really cool video game from scratch. Wow, in her free time. So, the video game is called Itsy Realm, and it's an old school role-playing game. So Jesse is from Lafourche Parish, Louisiana, and works at Metrolina Greenhouses in Huntersville, where he runs the Plant Health Laboratory. Jesse lives with his fiancée, Erin, and their two wonderful dogs, and also Jesse's younger sibling. He loves gardening, being outdoors, playing video games, and spending time with his family. So today, we welcome into our community these new members who have chosen to make a commitment to this congregation by signing our membership book, which they will do in a few moments. They commit to support our church through time, talents, and treasures. So new members, if you have your insert here with you, okay. We are so glad that you are here with us and that you have chosen this community of fellow seekers to travel with you on your life journeys. Will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalist people who spread hope with our living faith? Will you engage with us as we seek to create a community and a world dedicated to love and justice? Response is, we will. Okay, great. Now, for our congregation, for everyone else here, will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts that they bring us? Will you share our triumphs and our struggles as our community grows and changes? We will. So for all of us together, new members and older members alike, let us say together our covenant of purpose and right relations as each one of us here today renews our commitment to our church community. We encourage and support individual freedom of religious beliefs for all. We share in the loving ministry each for the other, and thereby provide for our emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. We are dedicated to providing religious education for our children, which will enhance the positive worth of each child. We will strive towards social responsibility with the purpose of strengthening an individual commitment to self, congregation, and community. We will seek to truth to enlighten and acknowledge human accomplishments and possibilities. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its prayer. We covenant to honor all spiritual paths with hospitality, to assume the best of one another from our highest selves, to dwell together in peace through kindness, and to serve others with compassion, honoring one another as members of beloved community. And now our membership team has 2 gifts for each of our new members. We invite you to go towards where Scott is here. He has the membership book. You'll sign your name in our membership book, and then we have flour and a mini chalice for you, so you can have your own chalice at home. And I invite everyone after the service to please offer a warm welcome for our new members. So now before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many people who help make our worship service possible. We also ask before you leave today if you can take the hymnals and place them on the cart near the piano. That's a big help. So let's take a few moments to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words, for the things for which we are grateful today. Grateful for our choir and also for our special music today, very much. Thank you.
I'm grateful to my son
and for her son and son-in-law for being fine fathers.
For all the fathers of the world.
Yes, for all the good, loving fathers of the world. Yeah.
I'm thankful for the 4 baby raccoons on my deck last night.
Okay, Gail is still having raccoon stuff going on, so she is thankful for the 4 baby raccoons. So. For new members, yes.
For community.
For community,
For inspiration.
for inspiration.
For the beautiful musical numbers.
Yes, for both beautiful musical numbers today.
I'm thankful for the beautiful view and the beautiful trees and the beautiful sun and the beautiful day.
For a beautiful day, the view and the sun and the trees. Yes, absolutely. Yes, very glad to see Alex today, yes. We give thanks for all these things and also so much more which we hold in our hearts this morning. For our closing blessing, hear these words from Madeleine L'Engle. She wrote, "Energy is eternal delight." So I invite us to go forth with energy of divine presence, creation, the entire universe, and let us share this eternal delight with all the world around us. May it be so, blessed be, amen. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. May it be so. Now for our closing song, we make a circle. You may hold hands if you would like to do so, or you may simply place your hand on your heart as we sing our closing song.